World News with Taylor Smith. Before we go into depth, here's where the crisis stands at this hour. US-China trade war, which impacts everyone's daily life silently. We invited 3 experts to discuss this issue. First, let's welcome Dr. Zhao to give us an overview.
Okay, hi. The trade war was an economic conflict resulting from extreme protectionism, in response to which states raise tariffs or create trade barriers. Increased protection caused both countries' output composition to move toward their autarkic position. So, how did war happen? The origin began with Donald Trump signing a memorandum on March 22, 2018, announcing that the U.S. Trade Representative imposed tariffs on China goods to punish them for stealing their intellectual property rights and their trade secrets. And China soon gave the countermeasure that they will put tariffs on American goods, including the most exported soybeans. And then, on March 23rd, U.S. imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum products exported from many countries, including China. But he gave some countries exemption. And then, on June 18th, Trump ordered that U.S. government list a list of 10% tariffs on Chinese goods, worth $200 billion. And on June 13th, the U.S. Ministry of Finance pointed out that they plans to limit China's investment in U.S. And on July 24th, the U.S. Congress will hold a hearing on the remaining $16 billion on tariffs on Chinese goods. So, the trade war, including many aspects, and it will bring a far-reaching effect. That is my briefly conclusion.
Next, the stalling arrest in Canada of a Chinese telecom company executive should really wake people up to the fact that there's a second US-China trade war going on, a much stealthy conflict fought with weapons much subtler and more devastating than tariffs. And the price in that other struggle is domination of the information technology industry. The arrested executive, Wan Zumeng, is the CFO of Huawei. Also, she's its founder's daughter. The official reason for her arrest is that Huawei is suspected of selling technology to Iran, which is in violation to US sanctions. All we know is that economy and technology are inseparable. So let's see how Dr. Collins is going to tell us.
Hi, I'm Collins. I'm an economic expert. Now, US President Donald Trump punished China for its trade practices. In March 2018, China made countermeasures very soon afterwards and taxed US imports, including the US most exported soybeans to China. Here's a chart showing the timeline and how the battle has escalated. This is a data as of July 11th last year, taken from CNN's website. Now, at first, he placed tariffs on Chinese solar panels and washing machines. But as tension went on, the Trump administration used national security to justify further tariffs on steel and aluminum.
In fact, export restrictions and the threats of restrictions are thus probably not just about the sanctions. They're about making life harder for the main competitors of US companies. Huawei just passed Apple to become the second largest smartphone maker by market share, which really marks a big change for China, whose companies have long been stuck doing low-value assembly, while companies in rich countries doing high-value design, marketing, and component manufacturing. US moves against Huawei and ZTE may be intended to force them to remain a cheap supplier instead of a threatening competitor. The second weapon in a high-tech trade war is investment restrictions. The Trump administration has greatly expanded its power to block Chinese investments in US high-tech companies through a CFIUS. It's a focused point about high-tech technology restrictions. Let's move back to Collins.
this time from not only China but also other nations. China then fight back by targeting more than 600 products, including cotton, wheat, wine, nuts, soybeans, and pork. To cope with the new status, some companies in food and drinks industry had lowered their outlooks and put up their prices. Tyson Food cut its profit forecast, saying retaliatory duties on U.S. pork and beef had lowered U.S. meat prices. Coca-Cola said it will increase prices in North America to compensate for the metal prices. Although the tariffs were intended to put pressure on Chinese economy, but how China retaliated had made American farmers feel the pain. Car industry has been one of the most affected last year due to the trade policies, but they warned those prices would rise this year.
Thank you, Collins. When it comes to economy, people must be afraid of there's a political problem. Does military powers influence the situation? Let's ask Professor Lee.
Hi everyone, this is Professor Lin from the Department of Political Science. First, I want to talk about the political problems. There is political calculus in the trade war goods list America announced to prevent China from learning their enterprise technology. The list including fruits, nuts, pork, wine, and so on, which are produced by agricultural states and conservative states. These states are mostly Donald Trump's ballot paper. If the trade war keeps upgrading to another high level, it will flatter his wide supporter from middle and lower class. Next, America described China as a country that had to take the responsibility of the high trade deficit and the influence of internal affairs. First, this helped evoking the patriotism of Americans. Second, it helps America stay at a moral high level in the diplomatic war. Third, the election. Donald Trump said, China has been attempting to interfere in our upcoming election. As for proof, the president later cited a Chinese-founded newspaper advertisement in Iowa. The Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi rejected what he described as unwarranted accusation against Beijing. Thank you, everyone.